Series, it's back, but in diesel form. Will it be king of the tarmac second time around?
We'll find out in this week's Driven 100. We're testing the Mondeo against two of its hottest diesel rivals, the new Passat and the latest Laguna. Can they really give their petrol cousins a run for their money?
Plus, a TV exclusive from our intrepid spies, the new Hyundai Coupe.
And a new dawn, Toyota's revolutionary Prius.
Want to save £3 on a car? Well, Driven's introducing a brand new feature, our very own Bargain Pricefinder, where each week we'll be touring the country finding the best deals for you. This week we got £2 off a Citroen and £3 off a Mitsubishi. Details are coming up in part 2, but first, can the new Mondeo keep its crown?
In the UK, we've been turning our noses up at diesels for years. They might be economical, but they're seen as noisy, dirty and lousy performers. Can these new executive cars from Ford, Renault and Volkswagen finally make diesels desirable?
Yes, if the manufacturer's claims are anything to go by. They say these new turbo diesels are just as good as their petrol counterparts, if not better. Way!
Easy, Tiger. Before we put these claims to the test, let's meet this week's contenders.
Pretty smart car, this new Ford Mondeo. In fact, last year it was our car of the series. We reckon it was great to drive and great to be in. But I wonder, how will things change with a turbo diesel up front? Ford diesels have been a bit duff in the past, and they're promising better things on the horizon. But for now, we've got a 2-litre, 115 brake horsepower motor. It's not as much poke as the other two, but there is a higher powered version winging its way in the showrooms in 6 months' time.
Looks familiar? Well, the all-new Mondeo wants to be just like this, the new Passat. Chunky, quality, you can thump. Well, it's not a new Passat, it's a thorough reworking of the old one, which was pretty good in the first place. Now, when you're talking Passat diesel, it has a higher than normal pressure injection system, which to you and me means better fuel economy and emissions. Volkswagen love diesels. They've even got a luxury V6 in the range, which is nice.
Le Français adore le gasoil. That's diesel to me and you, mate, and this is the brand new Laguna, launched later this month with a V6 petrol engine or this turbo diesel model, which uses the latest diesel injection technology. It's called Common Rail for those of you in the know. For better performance, it comes with a 6-speed gearbox, and Renault have tried to out-tech Ford using this credit card style ignition. But in the UK it's come a bit pointless, because in France, as you approach the car with it in your pocket, the doors pop open. But in the UK, our insurance companies thought that was a bad idea, and they've knocked it on the head.
Everywhere in Europe, diesel sales are booming, and there's no sign of it stopping, except in the UK, where they've been falling. Government fuel taxation means ours is the only major European market where diesel is more expensive than unleaded petrol.
But all 3 of our Driven 100 turbo diesels will do at least 10 miles per gallon more than their petrol equivalent, which is why fleet managers love them and buy them in droves. But before you take the plunge and buy a diesel, there's a few things you ought to know.
Diesel engines run at higher pressures than petrol ones. That's why they're louder, a fact which turns a lot of people off buying diesels. However, our trio use the latest diesel technology, which is supposed to make them quieter. Let's see how they compare with each other and with a similar petrol car.
We've left our 3 contenders overnight at Ricardo's noise test centre along with a petrol Volvo. Now we're going to measure peak decibels at cold startup, a wake up the neighbours test. First, to establish our benchmark, the petrol Volvo, 61 decibels. Now the Mondeo. It peaks at 67 decibels. Next, the Passat. Quieter at 63 decibels. And finally, the Laguna. The quietest at 62 decibels. That's just 1 measly decibel more than a petrol Volvo.
We also tested the cars a few minutes later at cold idle, with similar results. Again, the Laguna was quietest of the diesels. The Mondeo and Passat registered the same noise levels on this test.
So the Renault Laguna is the hush puppy of the three. The Passat comes in second and the rowdy cold start Mondeo comes third. But they all did surprisingly well against the petrol car. Noisy diesels a thing of the past? Seems that way.
Another gripe people have with diesels is the fumes. But on most emissions, diesels are actually cleaner than their petrol equivalents. And because diesels use less fuel, it follows that they chuck out less carbon dioxide. So, the fact is, we can't diss the diesel on noise or fumes anymore. That only leaves performance, and we'll be tackling that later in the Driven 100.
All these essential diesel facts, plus the inside story on Peugeot's brand new 307 family hatchback, it's all at our website at 4car.co.uk. Now, can Penny see the wood for the trees in a new Toyota Prius?
Somewhere in this suitably natural environment is the future of green motoring. If only we could find it. Hold that camera still. Ah, here we are. The Toyota Prius, the world's first hybrid car. A car that runs on both electricity and petrol. How does it do it? The secret is in its revolutionary intelligent engine. The Prius has a 1.5-litre petrol engine and an electric motor, and its computer is so clever it knows which one to use and when to give you the best possible fuel economy and emissions. It was launched in Japan 4 years ago, and finally it's on sale here with a new interior, European suspension and a smaller battery, making space for a bigger boot. All this and cutting-edge technology comes at a price though. At £16,495, it's in the pricey family saloon market, up against the likes of our three Driven 100 cars. It's so deadly quiet in here. All you'd be able to hear is the radio or the fan or the wipers going. The one thing that's going to really surprise people when they start to understand this car is that it is just like a normal car. You don't have any switches inside to choose between electric or petrol. The car will automatically select the most efficient way to use the car's power. It may have an electric motor, but the Prius has no plug. The battery, which is designed to last the lifetime of the car, is automatically topped up by the petrol engine. It's not the fastest car you're ever going to get in 0 to 60 in about 13.4 seconds, so it's no rocket ship. Toyota have had to go trying something a little bit different inside. The shape and style of the dashboard is new and different, and that's always refreshing to see. They've moved the gear stick from the floor up onto the dash, which frees up a lot of floor space, which again increases the sort of feeling of space inside the car. The steering is very nice and light, and they've put disc brakes on the back, so the brakes are incredibly sensitive. Is it really a green machine? On paper, the emissions and economy stack up. 61 miles per gallon around town and very low CO2 emissions. It meets the 2005 EU emissions laws already. And it's a proper car. It's got 4 doors, 5 seats and a decent sized boot, unlike the 2+ handbag Honda Insight. Its technology is jaw-dropping, but its most surprising feature is its modesty. In an industry that promises the world but so rarely delivers, here is a car that delivers more than it promises. So should you buy one? It comes as well equipped as a Ford Focus gear, and it will save you serious money on fuel. If style, performance and image are your priorities, then I'm not sure that this is the car you should be looking at. But if cost-cutting and planet-saving are what you're interested in, then I think this is the car for you.
Still almost a year away from these shawls, here's a sneak preview of the next generation Hyundai Coupe, snapped during hot weather testing in Arizona's sizzling Death Valley. Despite the black tape camouflage, you can see the old car's curvy creases along its sides have gone. The high-sided look has a whiff of Audi TT about it, and it's bigger too, around Toyota Celica size. Hyundai has confirmed there'll be a 1.6 and 2-litre version, and for the first time a more powerful 2.7 V6, and there'll be a 6-speed gearbox. But our sneaky peek at the interior also showed a semi-automatic with sequential gear change, just like a Porsche. Hyundai's known for keen pricing, so expect the new coupe to give the Toyota Celica a run for its money. The current coupe starts at £14,000, a good £3,000 less than a Toyota.
After the break, I'm going to save you a packet in our new Bargain Pricefinder. and our driven 100 diesels duel with a juggernaut.
I went into a sweet shop the other day. I said I want some Cadbury's chocolate, some crispy cereal, some chewy nougat, up there, and a Persian rug. He said, you can have some Cadbury's chocolate, you can have some crispy cereal, you can have some chewy nougat, up there, but you can't have a Persian rug. I said, I want some Cadbury's chocolate, some crispy cereal, some chewy nougat, up there, and a Persian rug. He said, get out, you. Get out of my sweet shop. Don't start showing me up in front of everybody. Hey. I bet you haven't even filled your forms in yet.
Apply now and your family could get an extra £442 a year.
For the right home, car or job, FilmFour.co.uk.
Two looks for the price of one from just £69 at Specsavers Opticians.
I've just changed my bank. Why? Well, before I had savings, a mortgage and a current account. And I still have savings, a mortgage and a current account. But now the Woolwich manages them all together, offsetting what's in my savings and my current account against my mortgage. So I only pay interest on what's left, which allows me to pay off my mortgage earlier without having to make any extra payments.
Check out how Open Plan Offset from the Woolwich could take years off your mortgage.
You're either with us or without.
Nice packet.
Welcome back. Coming up, our Driven 100 diesels get a good mauling by a pack of quota-hungry sales reps. And some life and death facts on tyre safety. But first, it's time to be afraid.
You're stuck behind a very large lorry on a two-way road and you see a chance to overtake. But which of this week's turbo diesels will give you the confidence you need to make your move? It's the time exposed to danger test. Before we start, action replay. Here's how the petrol version of our reigning champ, the new Mondeo, performed in the same test last series. A good 6.6 seconds. First to go of our dueling diesels, the Volkswagen Passat.
Right guys, first diesel of the season. Smelly, dirty, what do you reckon?
Well, if you two had a bath, it would be less smelly now. The car smells okay.
Right, I'm in third gear. We're going to do a time exposure danger test where we overtake the truck. 50 miles an hour is the speed.
We've got 130 brake horsepower and the most pull or torque of the three cars.
Do 0 to 60 in just under 10 seconds, and would you believe top speed of 130?
Now the mid-range pull should be brilliant, so...
It's 228 pounds of mid-range torque, and it works faultlessly.
Brilliantly.
Off it goes.
A solid performance from the Passat, the most powerful car of the bunch, overtaking with reassuring efficiency. Now, will the French-built Renault stay cool when the going gets tough?
Right then, guys, second of our diesel units, the Laguna. Now, this one's got a common rail diesel engine with an intercooler. It's 2 litres, 8 valve. It's punchy, it's quick, it's got a 6-speed gearbox.
Yeah, but instantly, I don't think it feels as refined. It feels a bit more noisy on the road. No, we've got 120 horsepower in here, so not as much as the Passat.
Right, but it delivers 200 pound a foot torque at 2,000 RPM. This is where we need it, getting past the big truck. It's a breeze again. 124 mile an hour, 0 to 60 in 10.5. These are diesels, remember. They're performing like their petrol counterparts. Well done.
Once again, grace under pressure. Finally, the Mondeo. It's got a lot to live up to. Will it display the pedigree of its petrol cousin?
Our car of the year last year was the petrol version of this, the new Mondeo.
Tell you what, it's like a Massey Ferguson. It's so noisy, so rattling.
Delivers 207 pound a foot torque at about 2,000 RPM. Here we go, guys.
We're down on power in here. 115 horsepower, which means there's not nearly enough space to get through as there was in the Passat.
It's not as good on power as either the Passat or the Laguna. However, I like this car to drive. It feels the nicest to drive. You've got to hand it to them. These new turbo diesels are certainly accomplished. Even more pulling power lower down the rev range than a 2-litre petrol Mondeo. Diesels outperforming petrol, is nothing sacred.
But there has to be a winner, and it's the Volkswagen. But it's very close, with Renault runner-up and the Ford a stodgy third.
The car market's in turmoil at the moment. Prices, they're up, they're down, they're sideways. Enough. There are more deals out there than you can shake a stick at the moment. But where'd you go and find one? A dealer, your broker, an importer, a supermarket? Well, don't fret. Let Driven do the legwork for you, because we've hooked up with our website at fourcar.co.uk to bring you the all-new Driven Bargain Pricefinder. How about a family-sized new-look Citroen Zara at 1.4L for mini money? You can save almost 1,800 quid off the list price of 9,695. Price finder deal 7,899. Fancy this small but chic 4x4 Mitsubishi Shogun Pinin 1.8 GDI GLX with a year's free road tax thrown in? You could save a whopping 3.5 grand. Price finder deal 9,995. For where to get these prices, you'll have to visit our website. Address is coming up soon. But if you don't have internet access, then use our Price Finder deals as a guide when haggling with your local dealer. Now, what deals are there to be done on our shiny new Driven 100 turbo diesels? The Laguna turbo diesel will be sought after, so only expect up to £800 off from a broker. The Passat diesel will be hot property, so best bet and import for around £1,000 off. Soon, the smart new diesel Mondeo will be everywhere. Handy discounts are a racing certainty.
All the deals featured and many more can be found at fourcar.co.uk. Next, part 2 of Mike's special tyre report.
Last week, I showed you how a car's handling can be dangerously compromised by driving on tyres with too little air. The message is clear. Check your tyre pressure every couple of weeks to avoid this. And we looked at the hazards of mixing pairs of old and new tyres on your car. If you must fit a mix of old and new tyres, then remember to fit the new pair on the rear, or this could happen. This week, I'm looking at a groundbreaking solution to punctures. But first, how do you know when to replace your tyres? Tread depth is vitally important and can affect your braking distance. The minimum requirement for a tyre is 1.6mm or up to the letters on a 5p coin, or down to the tread wear indicator on any modern tyre. Now we're going to see the difference between new and worn tyres during a braking test on this specially adapted surface. The deeper the tread on your tyres, the more contact you have with the road surface. When you brake on a wet road, the depth of your tread will determine the distance that you skid. We're going to test this out with 2 coursers. We're going to brake at 40 miles an hour on a track wetted down to simulate a recent downpour. The first courser has new tyres. Now for the second courser. Remember, this has worn tyres, but the tread is at the legal limit. With worn but not quite illegal tyres, the car took a further 4 car lengths to stop, a potentially fatal distance in an emergency. Although it's up to us to make sure our tyres meet safety standards, manufacturers are developing new technology to help us motorists. We're already seeing low-pressure warning devices fitted to cars like the new Laguna and new Mini. However, Michelin have come up with a revolutionary new tyre. It's called PAX. A puncture on a conventional tyre can cause damage to the rim, leaving you stranded on the hard shoulder. Not so the PAX tyre. It has an inner rubber ring which supports the wheel rim after a puncture, like a tyre within a tyre, which means you can drive on safely. It will run at 50 miles an hour for around 125 miles flat, and it's hoped that in the future it will do away with the necessity of having a spare wheel.
All 3 of our cars will soon be fleet managers' favourites, but if you had to drive one, which one would you choose? Well, we've asked the sales team from Dell Computers to have a really good look over our turbo diesels and make up their minds. There's a booster seat in here which is integral into the back seats, which for me is the best reason to buy this car. It's a brilliant idea and I can't understand why anyone else hasn't done it. Oh, you've got children?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's fantastic?
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea.
Although this is really nice, I'd be apprehensive about it getting scratched every time I was putting a pushchair in and stuff.
It feels just like an Audi. It is an Audi.
It is an Audi.
This is the sort of car that would appeal to a fleet buyer because it is functional, it does fulfil its obligations, but it doesn't inspire.
With you, does it come down to badge snobbery?
I'm afraid it does a little bit, yeah. If I want to stand out in the company car park and I want to impress customers and clients, then personally I'd probably go for the VW.
Family friendliness and a Volkswagen badge give Passat a warmish response. So are the sales team hot for the Laguna?
I've got a Laguna at the moment and it is much more comfortable as a seat. The whole cabin is much more comfortable. The reach, the feel of everything is so much more modern as well.
So they've moved it on for you?
Definitely moved it on a long way.
You've been sitting here with a big smile on your face, grinning from ear to ear, and you haven't got out of it for about 5 minutes. What appeals to you about this car?
I've never ever seen the button to start the car with a key. I think that's...
you like that?
That's good. I like that, yeah.
Press a button.
I want one.
He wants one, put a button.
Actually, this seems bigger in the back than the Passat.
Definitely the best car.
The rep's delight. Renault are clearly on the button with the new Laguna. That just leaves the Mondeo.
There's not really something that defines this out from any other sort of standard car. It hasn't got a special spark.
What do you think? Like the car?
It's not as comfortable as the Renault. Pretty old-fashioned, pretty backdated, and the whole just doesn't blend. It's much more angular in the front.
Do you like that or not?
No, I much prefer the sleek design of the Renault.
But it's dear. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money,
more than the others.
and it's a Ford, unfortunately, and they do tend to just sort of blend in.
Not the pride of this company car park then.
Right, our sales team have had a look round our 3 turbo diesels, but it's time for them to make up their minds. You ready, guys? Run around now.
Right, Jason. That's all right, there's going to be a rush in a minute.
You're going to be there for a long time.
I'll get my coat.
Do one, Penny.
I've got 6 parents who have fallen in love with the integrated booster seat.
I've got 13, so it's an overwhelming result for the Renault Laguna.
Right then, it's Trim 100 time. Let's get on with it.
OK.
And the VW Passat.
The new Passat.
Driveability.
There's no support around the shoulders, which I think on a long journey we're going to get horrible backache.
But it's punchier than some petrol cars. It scores 15. And the Mondeo?
We felt last year that this was the most refined car that we'd driven up until that point, or one of them at least. In diesel form, all of that gets thrown out the window because it's noisy, it's clacky, it's slightly underpowered.
But it's as comfortable to drive as a petrol version. It gets 13. The Laguna?
Very comfortable. Seats hug you nicely around your shoulders and your fat thighs.
Oh, a big fat 15 then for the Renault. Now, desirability. And the VW gets the parents' votes for those child booster seats.
Everyone that had children suddenly went, "Oh my God, that's brilliant!"
Everyone else thought it was a bit dull. It scores a sensible 15. And the Ford?
I still think it's a great car inside. It's fantastic looking, it's dynamic. I love the new
In petrol
styling.
form, I agree. In diesel form, it's a bit of a dog.
It's in the doghouse with 14. And the Laguna?
But I have to say, I'm the only person in the world that prefers the shape of the old Laguna. When this car, I do!
You're mad, Penny. Everyone else loved it. A stylish 16. Now, practicality and the Volkswagen. It only comes with 4 doors, but...
There's got lots of little practical things about it, and it's very spacious. So it's practical.
Anything more to say there?
No, just that it's practical. 20. Now the Mondeo.
It's got that ranky old diesel engine under the bonnet. It doesn't make it any less of a practical car.
Available in 4 or 5-door versions, it gets 20, and the same goes for the Laguna. Now, cost of ownership, where we estimate how much these cars will set you back over 3 years, including depreciation and running costs, but not insurance. First, the Passat.
What's it cost per mile?
41.74 pence per mile.
Which is double cheap.
Pretty good,
for a
isn't it?
car like
Yeah.
it. It scores 18. And the Mondeo?
It's over £3,000 more than the other two. It's 20,300 odd pounds.
And it's 20p per mile more expensive to run than the Passat. Not a very affordable Ford. 14. And the Laguna?
Cost of ownership's a bit difficult because it's such a new car, but the old model was 49.31 pence per mile.
So this Laguna should be even cheaper to run, an economical 18. Now it's time to grade this week's oil burners.
In third place, a great package let down by an unrefined engine. The pricey Ford Mondeo scores 61.
In second, it's sensible, well-built, dependable and fast. It's, well, German. The Volkswagen Passat gets 68.
And in top spot this week, Gallic charm and good looks coupled with a punchy performance produce a worthy alternative to a petrol car. And the Renault Laguna wins it with 69.
Like you, we're surprised the new Ford Mondeo, our car of the year last year, has come in last place. That's because in its current diesel form it's flawed and expensive. So our advice to you is wait till later on in the year for the new diesel unit.
The new Volkswagen Passat is a really brilliant car. It's fast, spacious and comfortable. And of course it's got those ingenious child booster seats.
The new Renault Laguna is a little more stylish, more desirable and very impressive to drive. And that's why it's this week's winner by a gnat's whisker. We'll see you next week.
There is no Driven next week, but we're back in a fortnight with the car which Lexus reckon can conquer all and become the best luxury car in the world. Can the new Lexus LS 430 beat the Jaguar Sovereign and our luxury car of the year, the Mercedes S-Class?
Penny's right, you know. Next Tuesday evening, we've an hour-long episode of Brookside from 8 to 9 o'clock.
And once again, if you'd like more information about the subjects covered in Driven, check out the Channel 4 motoring website at 4car.co.uk.
The experiment continues. The girl boys and boy girls receive some fine-tuning to test their temporary sex changes before 6 become 4 in Boy Meets Girl.
Everyone on the floor! Stop! What are you doing? This bank is not ready yet. There's no money. There's no safe. There isn't even a roof. You can't rush these things, guys. It's like Grolsch. It's brewed longer for a fuller taste, and it's only released when it's ready. Chris? Grolsch. We only let you drink it when it's ready.
When you need more power to your elbow, drive away the Ford Ka with power steering as standard. The Ford Ka from £6,995, including 1 year's free insurance on selected models and a 3-year warranty. Ford demands a closer look.
Guys, switch to Mach 3. It's so close. It's so smooth. You'll love the difference. and so will we. Gillette Mach 3, the best a man can get.
Don't you want your kids to be prepared? Children's tax credit. I bet you haven't even applied. My family's eligible, even if the main earner gets up to around 40 grand. Most families will see £442 a year. How much, son?
442.
That's news to you, because you don't know how to push yourself. Don't you want your kids to see you as a super parent?
Apply before the end of February and you can see the tax cut in your April pay packet.
There was once a young girl who was on her way to a magical land. She couldn't wait, and before she knew it, she was there. She visited distant countries, journeyed the globe, which seemed to her very small indeed. And of the new friends she met on that magical day, there's one who will stay with her forever. Disneyland Paris. Call 08705030301 and come and live the magic.
Molto buono, eh, guys? This is great pizza. Come on. Grandma's light thin base. Ain't that right, Grandma? And Grandma's special sauce, made with sun-ripened tomatoes. Ain't that right, Grandma? Hey, it's Grandma's secret sauce. Ain't that right, Grandma? Grandma, nice.
A sto ragazzo piace così tanto la pizza.
Italian with delicious sauce, just like Grandma buys from Pizza Hut. Great pizzas, great times.
A smile relaxes all the major facial muscles, setting off an emotional chain reaction that helps you feel good.
Or use simple facial wipes that gently cleanse and tone in one go. That'll make you smile too.
We all want what we can't have. Fatal Attractions, a season of films focused on the darker side of love. FilmFour costs just $5.99 a month. To subscribe, call free on 0800 44 1234. FilmFour.
Kama Sutra. A book of positions so impossible that you'd need Tom Cruise, John Woo, and 50 Hollywood stuntmen to help you through it.
Position impossible.